less than 24 hours until Bath away tomorrow. A big game for the club.
Yeah, big game, because again, a bit like last week, it's kind of the games you want to be involved in. It's almost top of the table clash, and I know we've kind of slipped out of that top four now, but a win puts us right back in there. Could potentially put us level with Bath, who are currently going really well. And as I said, the players are aware they're the kind of fixtures you want to be involved in, and because of where we are in the league and how well things have gone so far, it does become a really important game because of the positive things we can get out of it. Not so much worried about the negatives, because we're not going to slip massively, and we're relatively comfortable in the overall bigger picture of the league. So it's nice for the right reasons, because there's some real positive things that can be got if we get a result.
Although disappointed with last week with the end outcome, overall though the performance was pretty encouraging, and when you look at sort of stats that Jack Berger was putting in, it shows that you were very competitive for large.
Oh yeah, I mean, everyone knows, everyone who saw the game or seen any of the highlights on TV, we've come up short by a matter of inches twice, with two moments that potentially win you the game. And sometimes, as I say, it's hard immediately after a game to sit back and take a really rational and, like I say, a bigger picture view of it. But the reality is it was a very good performance. On a different day, we wouldn't have had to have done pretty much anything different, and one of those tries gets allowed, or we slide over by another 2 inches, and it's a different result. And that's you've got to be able to take that on the chin. I think we've taken that this week, and instead we focused on why we played well. We've also focused on a couple of the key mistakes we made during the game, and make sure we're alert to those again, and just make sure again we're very competitive when we go to Bath. And if you're very competitive over the 80 minutes, as I say, you've got to be prepared to take the result on the chin, and sometimes you'll come through and sometimes you won't. But you're normally there or thereabouts, and we kind of pride ourselves on being tough for the 80 minutes. And then, as I said, you've just got to be prepared to take what you get.
Trips to the wreck, normally Bath come out flying. Is that something you've got to counter tomorrow, do you feel?
I just think it's no different at Bath to anywhere else. Teams in the Premiership are good sides. They tend to play very well at home. Wins away from home are harder to come by, and I think it's more that we've got to make sure we're good in that early period. And I think we paid the price in the LV Cup. Bath played very, very well in that opening period and made us pay for our mistakes, quite rightly so. And as I say, we've got to make sure we're sharper than that tomorrow.
In terms of team, you've made a couple of changes. Luke Arthur coming in for his first league start. Ben Moon coming in. Talk us through them.
I just think kind of performance related. Luke came on last week and did very well. He's looking very sharp. Is now back in full training for a number of weeks. Has got some good game time under his belt, and because of that, he gives us a good attacking option. He was he was the supporters player of the year last year for a lot of reasons, because he had a very good season, and we mustn't forget that. And now he's getting back on form. He's an important attacking weapon for us, and obviously Ben has done well as well, both in the LV period and when he came on last week. And I think sometimes you kind of pick horses for courses a little bit as you start to rotate forwards. And so we're really comfortable with what we've done. I think we've got a good team on good form. We're all fresh. And the important thing is for us to push on from last week.
I know you don't talk too much about it, but the fans do. They say you've never won at Bath, but it's not really anything that's worrying you too much, is it?
Well, we don't much talk about that kind of thing here. We always say where we'll get to, and we've taught that we feel one year we'll get into playoffs and we'll get into semi-finals and we'll get into cup competitions. What we don't do is say it has to happen today. We know it's coming. All we have to do on a day-by-day basis is put the things in place and work hard so that one day the big games come, one day the big games get won, one day you get that step further. And beating Bath is going to be one of the steps along the way for us. Whether it has to happen tomorrow or it happens next time we play them or the time after, it will happen. So I'm not too worried about there's any extra pressure. What we have to do is just do what we do every week and make sure we perform.